from now. This, I remember, I was at Cornell during the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is much worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Biden is eventually worse. People don't understand. We're physically killing ethnic Russian people on the ethnic Russian border.
Yes,
Their nuclear power. If we go into their lands, they're going to launch nukes, and we're all done.
I don't know, man. We're getting into some dangerous conversation territory here that might get the whole thing banned. So let's just be careful about proceeding.
So we're living in the Soviet Union.
World War III.
This is worse. By the way, Russia is not the Soviet Union anymore. America is the new Soviet Union. All the communists are here. They're the ones running the White House. They're all what are called red diaper babies. All their parents were communists. Their grandparents were card-carrying communists. Communist Party USA, and they've taken over. I know because I grew up with them. I know who they are.
Environmentalists are watermelons, right, Jack?
Most of the environmentalists are idiots. They're stupid.
They're watermelons. They're green on the outside and red in the inside.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. But
that was my dad told me that.
But they're also dumb. They're the same as the communist youth and the Hitler youth. They just they don't know how to think. So the point is this: I don't think there's going to be a happy ending to any of this. I think mostly, as you already see it, the poor people in the third world countries, they're going to die off. The famine, they're killing each other. The coups and the famine. What you see now. Sadly, I think that's what's going to happen, and there's just a lot of people going to die. I don't see unless the stuff I'm talking about works and we get low power. Unless the time travelers come and save us, literally with the superior technology, able to move people, to exoplanets.
That's the only Star Trek episode was that?
I don't know, but there's plenty of science fiction stories. But that's the only happy solution is if the Sarfatti equation that Lawrence Livermore actually works. When they do the test. If that works, then we have a chance of not destroying the planet. We have too many people. I don't care what Elon Musk said. Too many people. Too few resources. Too much stupidity. People cannot manage properly. I mean, look who's leading the country. Biden. He's like McConnell. Biden and McConnell. I mean,
right? Both glitching out because their brains can't even function properly.
Yeah, of course.
Them as head leads.
Of course.
That's so sad. That.
Okay, but Tucker Carlson the other night in an interview, he lived 35 years in Washington, D.C. with all these people. He grew up with them. He says they're all stupid. They're really stupid. They're not competent to Washington. It's a bubble.
Wasn't his dad part of the CIA too?
What? Yeah, the CIA.
His dad was like radio free Cuba or something like that.
Well, whatever. Listen.
Can I just ask you a question, Jack, about the
about
the global warming, right? What if we switch to nuclear power? What if that became more abundant? Nuclear power. If we switch to nuclear power.
Nuclear power will slow things down.
What about thorium nuclear power?
I mean, there are dangers for the radioactivity, but nuclear power, we have to have. I mean, France is stupid cutting down, in Germany, cutting down their nuclear plants. I think Russia's building them.
Can we replace all coal and oil with nuclear?
You don't want to replace electric cars are shit.
Finn, do you know any?
I like Elon Musk, but Elon Musk is especially a con man. with the Teslas, piece of crap.
Hey, Jack. I saw a stream that I was told it was polluted by uranium mining. Do you think? I mean,
what?
Uranium mining is not exactly. I mean, if you want to mine uranium, that's why I'm asking Finn, because in Australia they do a lot of uranium mining.
Yeah, but they also mining for lithium and all that stuff is also bad. Mining
is it equally? I know that like 50% of the if you're indigenous, the uranium, where they're testing nukes or mining for uranium, the indigenous people took the brunt of it.
But wait a minute, you see, you didn't think of numbers, so you're not thinking like a science.
Oh, they're just a number. I got it. Yeah.
No, you don't get it. No, you don't have it. You're a shithead. Just listen. You don't
compost head. Humanure head.
Just listen.
Well, it's a very Vulcan idea, right? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Is a very simple concept. But really, if you think about the greater scope of humanity, right, we're all living short lives. We die off. And if we don't at least embrace in the time that each of us is alive,
Look, the point is, you get more energy with less amount of uranium than you do with the lithium batteries. You need a lot more lithium to power all these cars than you need uranium to power the entire planet. Nuclear power is much more efficient.
Very true. Exponentially.
Do you think two-headed depleted? Do you think two-headed depleted uranium babies, when they're two-headed depleted uranium babies? Do you think that's
okay? Yeah, you're being stupid.
It's not stupid.
They always say two heads are better than one.
Okay,
go to Basra.
Are you transgender?
15% of the babies in Basra had deformities because of depleted uranium. Depleted uranium.
That's
not mining, though. That's imperialism and terror.
It's all connected together. My dad was a lawyer for the nuclear industry in Minnesota. He was the former chief deputy officer of Minnesota, and so that was a precedent case for Monticello. And when they started the nuclear power plant, the attorney general wanted to increase the regulations of routine emissions of radiation, and the military overruled it because that's why the interstates were built. So Eisenhower built the interstates so we could escape. We could escape nuclear disaster. You said it's worse in Cuba. You're saying nuclear is going to save us, and you're saying it's worse in Cuba.
No.
And nuclear, we're facing nuclear escalation.
No,
is it atoms for peace, or is it
you're not thinking. No, you're running around like a chicken without a head. You're scatterbrained all over the place. I mean, your neurons are misfiring. No, they made mistakes in the past. They weren't careful. They weren't ethical. I agree with all that. You can do it intelligently. If you can be mining uranium, you make sure that there are no people around nearby. You move the people out so that they're healthy. You protect them. There are ways of doing it smart. Yeah, they didn't do it right back then, but that doesn't mean there aren't fixes to do it. You learn from the mistakes. Richard Feynman died from it. Feynman died young. He was only 60.
Basil J. Hiley said Feynman's wrong. He said he's wrong.
I'm sorry for being a young schmuck, but like, what killed Feynman? I didn't realize that he had died from something related to anything other than just natural death. So,
in fact, my girlfriend, a former girlfriend of mine, was his girlfriend when he died. She was she's hospice. She was with him when he was dying. The reason Feynman died young. Let's see, he was born in 1918, and he died. He was born the same year my mother was born. And he died like 1989, 86 or something like that in 1980s. So he was in his 60s. He didn't even make 70. It's like 60.
I thought it was all the strip clubs you went to all the time.
No, I went to strip clubs with Feynman. I drove him around in my jet. No, seriously, back in 1963. I know all about that. No, Feynman, what Feynman did, Feynman's first wife, he was at the Manhattan Project. His first wife died of breast cancer. He was very depressed. He was suicidal. And so what happened was when they did the bomb, when they tested Trinity, whatever it was, the bomb, he stood up.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys got that.
And so that's why he died at 60. Yeah, he was a healthy guy. And, so he died, he died almost 20 years ago, right? Yeah, he was more than 20 years ago.
Feynman,
that's much different than
in his autobiography,
he died from the bomb. The bomb killed him because he didn't take. He was basically. I think he knew it was a suicidal act. He was very depressed, and then he got over it, but it was too late. That's why
this is Feynman.
A suicidal act.
In his autobiography, he says that he watched it inside of his truck, and he said that the glass would be enough to like block.
No, I heard that he actually got different stories, but he got exposed. He got a lot of exposure, and it was long term. It took 40 years.
But he definitely got the blast. He was there. He watched it happen with a bunch of these other guys.
He was exposed. Other people told me he was exposed. People who were there. So he exposed himself, but he probably did it maybe subconsciously. He was very depressed, and so
he didn't account. They didn't account for something in the calculations. He thought that.
Yeah, they were. Listen, they were very. Yeah, I mean, things were. So, but the point is now we know better, and now we can do a lot more. And hopefully we can have fusion. If we have this warp fusion reactor, then we don't have to worry too much.
Why were you saying we switch completely to it? Why are we saying we need?
I don't think anything's going to happen. I think we're going to have a. Tucker Carlson says that we're going to be in a nuclear war with Russia before the election because Biden is going to have to start a war in order to prevent Trump from becoming president. That's what he said just last night or night before last. So we're fucked. So all the stuff we're talking about, unless we're lucky, unless the UFOs come and save us at the last minute, like the cavalry coming. The Indians were around the wagon train, and the cavalry comes. John Wayne comes in his UFO. We're probably, we're screwed. That's what that's the most likely, because we have a stupid president. We have stupid people at the top. We have a stupid military. They destroyed the military. The generals, Lloyd, what's his name, Austin. He's an affirmative action idiot, and people who know him from the army. And Miley's an idiot. He's leaving, and be replaced by the guy taking over is worse than Miley. So we've destroyed the. We're a paper tiger. If we went to war with Russia or China, they're going to beat the shit.
Can't even supply Ukraine's artillery shells.
Yeah, you know why? Because China. We've moved most of our manufacturing over to China like idiots. And you know who did that already? Well, even the Bushes started that, but Clinton. Democrat, they did. Clinton did that. But I think even George Bush did it. So we're fucked. I mean, the whole thing is.
And the biggest thing about Taiwan is that all of the military chips, the processors for the U.S. military, is made in Taiwan. Thus, if China takes it back, they have access to all. And
which is also why China is not going to want. First of all, China doesn't have to attack Taiwan. Taiwan's going. This year, there's going to be an election. The new party. The party's going to probably take over. Actually, both parties now want to reunite with China, but on terms with the economy. Both the Chinese on both sides, they want to have business. They want to have the economy good. Okay, so there's no real China problem, except with us.
When you say you think there might be a nuclear war, there's no doubt Biden's a moron, right? But Putin, I wouldn't say Putin would ever fire nukes.
No. Putin's the only adult in the room. But Putin, and China, unfortunately. Putin's the only thing that's preventing a nuclear war.
Yeah, without a doubt.
For 15 years now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Putin's been when Trump and Putin got along fine. But Putin right now, I mean, that's why these guys in England, I love say Putin's a Hitler, and he's a bit. I mean, he had good reason to go into Ukraine, all kinds of reasons. I mean, we almost got into a nuclear war when Khrushchev put the nuclear missiles on our border in Cuba. Well, that's what we're doing to him. This is, the whole thing is so stupid. And then I have friends who say, "Oh, NATO's not a danger to Russia." That's not the way the Russians see it. And that's not the way I see it. Being objective. So we're right now, I mean, we've made Russia stronger. Their army is much stronger than it was 2 years ago. And if we go to war with Russia, we're going to, as long as it's a conventional war, if it stays on nuclear, they're going to beat us. I mean, look all the stuff we're sending Ukraine. It's no good. The Russians are just destroying it.
Yeah. When I was asking you before about nuclear power, why'd you say we don't want to switch all of it over? Why would we want to keep coal or oil?
I'm sorry, what? What did you say? I didn't hear it. I understand the word you said.
Before when I was asking
why you go 100% to nuclear instead of why you wouldn't get rid of all oil and coal?
Because we need oil. My Jaguar needs oil. Needs gas. I don't want an electric piece of shit. But when it rains, it short circuits. You can't use these Tesla cars, electric cars. The floods that they're having in Florida and everything. The batteries blow up. They explode, or they don't operate.
Jack, what's your opinion on
it? And the engines are very clean these days. New engines are clean. That's bullshit.
I want to ask you about cold fusion. What's your opinion on cold fusion? What do you?
I hope it works. I don't have I don't spend any time trying to understand it.
Yeah.
But Brian Josephson does. So far, it hasn't worked.
Well, what do you think about geons and some of the stuff? There's a friend of ours, Bob Greenyer, is working on some theories.
Yeah, I know all about geons. I was doing geons in the 1960s. I was with John Wheeler doing geons.
Yeah, we wrote the paper on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But the point is, geons don't work. Now there may be, see, in the metamaterials, the geons might work, because the reason geons don't work is because the gravity coupling is too weak. So the geons are too big. But the whole thing that I'm talking about is that we could increase the gravity coupling, and then we can maybe make little geons. Yeah, geons they're solitons. They're these nonlinear solitons. They're like, self-consistently localized clumps of gravity and electric field, the nonlinearities. Sure.
Jack, when you say the simple is the best, what do you think of Sarfatti of Penrose and Hameroff saying that the microtubules and tubulin are metamaterials? They're negative.
Yeah, I said it.
Okay, so isn't that the simplest? It's already inside of us.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's my whole point.
That you're reverse engineering our biology, basically.
That's right. That's how we're going to make conscious machines. Yes, exactly. We're just reverse engineering the microtubules. It's called nanotechnology, quantum dot artificial neural nets. And then we have to pump them into macroscopic coherent state, what are called Fourier condensates. Yeah,
But you can pump them already in your own body.
We're pumped. That's why you eat food. That's
not just food. Like my own teacher went 28 days in a cave with no sleep.
Well, your teacher's a dumb shithead. I mean, anybody does that.
Well, he works with the Mayo Clinic doctors.
I don't care. Okay, so they were doing it as an experiment, maybe, but he's still.
No, he's Chinese. He did it at Mount Qingchen.
All right. So what? He did it for a good reason. They were testing physiology.
No, he was a Taoist. A Taoist yogi master.
All right, good.
You call that new age, I know.
Yeah, it's new age. Yeah. No, actually, some of it may work. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But but I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I get it. You want to drive your Jaguar?
I do.
Strip clubs.
Nice.
I do drive a Jaguar. I don't drive very much. My 2-year-old Jaguar only has 2,000 miles on it because I'm in London most of the time. Yeah, I go back. I only use my Jaguar to go to the store.
Why don't you go see Basil J. Hiley? Tell him, see how he's doing. He's 87.
Yeah, I know. I was with him about 2 years. He came to my club in London. I saw him about 3 years ago. I guess it was pre-COVID, right before COVID hit.
Okay.
Yeah. No, what Basil has done some very good things, but what he's doing now is too abstract. I like his surrealistic trajectories. All that is good. And a lot of stuff, what he says is good, but all right.
He's got a lot of papers on mind matter. Is that too abstract? Mind matter?
Well, I don't, as far as I'm concerned, I've been there, I've done that. That's okay. I've solved that problem. I'm on to gravity now.
Yeah, I hear you. He just says that non-commutativity is a radical restructuring of all of physics, but you think he means abstract.
He's talking the non-commutativity of the space-time. You mean the AlienScientist?
No, pre-space.
Pre-space. You know what? Yes, but you know what though? I think he's going. Okay, it's good he does it. Maybe something will come of it, but we don't need it for anything practical. We don't need it to reverse engineer the UFOs. That's all. We don't need it for the 6. What is it? The 6 observables. Louis Elizondo, that's now 6, not 5. We don't need it to explain. We don't need it. There's a military. We don't need it to explain what the Navy. We don't need it to explain what the Congress wants to know in that congressional hearing with David Grush and Ryan Graves and David Favreau. That's what I'm working on, okay?
I saw a TR-3B so close I could hit it with the rock.
What's an ATR-3? What is that?
The TR-3B. I emailed you about it, the TR-3B, the equilateral triangle.
You mean one of our aircraft. So what? It's not a warp drive.
It's okay. We'll talk about Jeremy. Speak up for me here. The TR-3B.
Please do not say that the TR-3B is not a big deal.